Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians Cast episode 2000. I am your host Matrix Lord 212 and I'm with Ray from Paranormal Ripples. What's up, Ray?
What's up, everyone? And they did say that Joel would make it to 2000. I guess they were wrong.
I know. Which I don't know if we're gonna go to 2001, but we'll see. I mean, oh my God.
Well,
Uh,
it won't be a Y2K incident. We know that much.
yeah. You know what? There's been a lot going on in my life and compared to the old days when we did podcasts, and it seems like to me it's getting more and more difficult lately. Hopefully that changes. But we got a lot of stuff going on in our personal lives and different things and health and stuff like that too. So may we have another 2000 Rehovians cast, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, why we're here today is we are here to review Doctor Who season 2 on Disney Plus, The Robot Revolution. Now, it's been very difficult getting members in here to do this, and then we couldn't do it the day we wanted to because people had to work and stuff like that too. And I know Scott's working too. Hopefully, he could pop in. But I didn't want anybody to wait anymore because I know everybody was waiting on me today, and it's getting late and late and late. And for people in the UK, it's very late. So, and especially in Australia, I'm sure for Hayden, Modern Age Nerd there,
Yeah.
it's super crazy time. So I'm going to start off with Ray, and Ray's going to talk about the episode and what he liked and didn't like
Mm. Yeah, I'm going to do a bit of a dissection here. Um, Things I didn't like, I'll start off with the things I didn't like. Dialogue between Mrs. Flood, well, somehow she's living next door to Belinda now. And the way that she was talking with Belinda, it seemed like a bit weird. Like a cat and everything, like went to live on a farm and I tell the police that I'm the queen of outer space now, and tell my parents that I've been kidnapped and like I know the companions have had this history of saying stuff like that, but it just seemed like kind of thrown in there just to like from a storytelling point of view more than coming in like for natural, if you know what I mean.
the whole concept of the saying they bit the farm, they whatever. That's like an American saying, meaning like they died, meaning they
Yeah.
bit the farm. But they didn't exactly say that. They said the cat's on the farm now. I guess meaning the cat's dead, right? Um, but I when I first saw the clip before the episode, like they had released a clip, I thought that the dialogue was complete and utter garbage. Um, I was like, what do we? When I saw the dialogue, I'm like, oh my god! Like I could not that I'm a great writer, but me with no experience, I felt writing a script, I could probably write better dialogue because
Yeah,
like the stuff she was saying,
yeah. It was like
tell the police I'm abducted by robots.
I'm the queen
Like
of outer space. Tell my mum and dad that I'm being kidnapped.
I just I was it was so
It's
off the
it's like
wall.
it's like even when she was in the house when the cat even when she went, that's not my cat. The cat's irrelevant. Like what?
I so like I I the thing is I didn't like the dialogue wasn't that great throughout the episode. There was some cool points, but now that I've seen it multiple times like you have, my initial reaction from just doing a video was like a 9, but after I've seen it numerous times, it's not a 9 anymore. We'll get into the rating later,
Yeah.
but the thing that I look for is, does this connect me to the classic series? Yes. Does it have the sci-fi aspect to it? Yes. It has the wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff I love, time paradoxes, time fissures,
Mhm.
um, all this stuff that makes Doctor Who really interesting to talk about, speculate about, have podcasts about. The fact that for some reason time went weird with her,
Mm.
and then we had an interesting concept. And again, think about this. You have a situation where, and besides the fact that it was resolved and the time fissure was sealed and the time paradox was solved, it's not really solved as new time paradoxes are emerging. And the main point is that he's not supposed to be with her, regardless of what he thinks. It's not destiny. Like, if something was descendants of her that reach out all the way to the 51st century. What happened? Anybody? Okay, we're losing. I don't know why I'm losing things. Anybody that saved anybody that's descended to her is like her granddaughter, her daughter, her granddaughter, great granddaughter, or whatever. Hey, Phil, what's up?
Hello, Phil.
The ceiling.
All right. So let me just finish. Let me finish just saying what I was saying. Any of her descendants that she was gonna have, and if she dies in the past, right, will directly alter the future of the 51st century to where the Daleks come from, where the Cybermen are from, where Gallifrey is from, where River is from, where Captain Jack is from. All these people that are from the 51st century, him encountering her in Boom, Mundy Flynn, she will never existed. That will alter season 1, which would alter the past, which would alter the present, which would create a new future, which would again create a new past. So it's a never-ending paradox on top of a domino effect of ripples that will be created because of her. And I don't think that he realizes that as the Doctor, that even though the Earth being destroyed could be something else, she is a massive domino effect of paradoxes. Again, he meets her descendant, but was he supposed to meet her? Probably not. So that's why it's very interesting to me how this could be like a never-ending paradox. And it's very interesting because it goes back to Mordred Undead, where the old Brigadier touched the new Brigadier, creating an explosion that was more powerful than 6 regeneration energy to kill all those of that race that they were immortal. Because if you remember Mordred Undead, they were trying to take the Doctor's regeneration so they could die. And that explosion was enough energy to kill them all. So and we've also seen time paradoxes, time loops in the past, City of Death. We've seen stuff with Leela. So this is why it interests me to the episode. Go ahead. Right.
What I was going to say was, if you think about it also from a 12th Doctor point of view, Orson Pink, he couldn't interfere with Orson Pink.
Right, Orson Pink, right, which is connected to Danny Pink and Clara, which was supposed to have a child.
And he couldn't interfere with it, could he?
Right. So that's another weird thing because that's supposed to happen.
Yeah, so then why is this all of a sudden he going to find what he said back then for her?
I mean, we don't know what caused Earth to be destroyed. It could be the villain or Ms. Flood But anyway, the dialogue was absolutely atrocious and awful. When she's on Earth and look, what's up?
You want a prediction for who I think they're going to say destroyed the Earth?
Who?
Fans, because they clearly fucking hate them.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so I just to point out something that me and Phil were talking about. As a gamer, a big gamer now, I found it very offensive that one person speaks for all gamers. It's not like that, right? Like as a gamer, I'm not trying to like kill anybody or be ridiculously controlling or whatever. That just guy's a weirdo.
No, maybe in Grand Theft Auto, but not no. But I did get a Smith and Jones vibe from when
I did too.
when he met her in the hospital, when it was like that, I was like, that's a Smith and Jones vibe. And then I remember that
There was a lot of stuff like Star Trek: The Motion Picture, V'ger, Voyager, AI Al, the Slovene reverted back to an egg. He's basically taking from himself. But ultimately, my rating went down because I've seen it numerous times, and now it went down to a 7. I recognize it's passable to it's passable to me because of the timey-wimey timelines, paradoxes that we have yet to see, yet it's connected to the episode, which it's like 73 yards, where you'll probably love it better after the end of the season because it will make sense. So right now it's a 7, and it may change towards the end of the season. I don't know. But originally, when I first saw it, I loved it as a 9. But then as I seen it, I'm like, I'm pointing out all the mistakes and all the horrible stuff that I'm seeing in there. And again, it's not going to go anything lower than that. I did like it, but to me, it was not enough time to tell the story as an opener. It's a lot of responsibility to try to map out the whole entire story arc for the whole entire season in the beginning episode that's only 30 some odd minutes long or whatever. And then you have to cut corners. And the fact that this woman was sort of either a friend or a girlfriend that died, and he's emotionally attached to that. We don't even know who the fuck she is because we only heard of her for a minute. So we can't even be upset about it, and he's crying about it. There was some problems in the episode. So let me have Bill talk because Bill didn't get to speak. Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
Oh, okay. So my take on it, the basic concept could have been a good story, but I really felt like it was more about the message than the story. This is a big problem I've had. Like I was telling you earlier, I'm not some crazed right winger who's like, oh my God, there's a sense of leftism in science fiction. Yeah, it's always been there. Get over it. But the problem is back in the day, they could still tell a damn good story and they didn't browbeat you to the point that, you could be on their side about a lot of shit and be sick of hearing them preach about it. And I just felt like this was preaching a message that, a lot of the fan base are basically shitty people. I felt like the Doctor was portrayed as kind of an asshat who needed to be put in his place by his companion. And I'm really sick of that formula. And it's not just in Doctor Who. You see it in a lot of things now.
Yeah.
And it's just bad. It's a trope that needs to die. I can't say that this takes away from the acting skill of any of the actors that were in the show. But just in terms of the writing, it was absolutely atrocious. I can't hate it as much as I hate Space Babies.
Oh, Space Baby was terrible.
I just don't like it, and I think I'm being kind when I rate it as a 5. I could probably say like a 4, but we'll say 5. Okay. And yeah, at the end of the season, I'll be happy to come back and see if I still feel the same way. But having watched it twice now, I kind of want that 2 hours of my life back.
I just found
it's not a good start for the season.
No, but I kind of felt that visuals, it was interesting. Oh, visuals, go ahead. No, go ahead, Bill. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that was the only thing I was at.
You like the visuals?
Yeah, you're good. The only thing you cut off was me saying that in terms of visuals, I have to be fair and give them credit where they did good. I'm not just going to rail about the bad stuff and leave it at that. They did a great job with the special effects. So I'll give them credit where it's due there.
Ray, you want to say something?
I was just going to say, I don't know whether you liked it or not, but I didn't like it one bit. Did you notice about Walt's line towards the end when she said you didn't have permission to take my DNA?
Well, okay. So the thing is, I kind of feel maybe it's because I was in the medical field. I kind of feel like I agree with her because a lot of times the doctor's arrogance in the past, nobody really gave a shit if he scanned them and whatever, right? So that wouldn't be a big deal, but I guess in 2025 it is a big deal.
Mm.
You know, so it is the way he's running around like this is my time machine and I am the last of my kind and nobody has this TARDIS and nobody has this and look what I could do and we have a destiny. She had to put a stop to that right there and then say, wait, back up. You just scanned me? Who the hell asked you to scan me? Which, look, it does make. Here's the thing. I did love that scene because he hasn't been put in that position before in a long time, I guess. And to see his acting ability and his facial demeanor change from super energetic, motivated, and happy to start getting mad, upset, like feeling bad, like he did screw up. I enjoyed seeing him squirm, honestly. And him trying to come about like, yeah, I screwed up, but this is really important because again, there's something going on that you have the exact DNA as the one in the future, which could mean that that's not a descendant, that it's actually her somehow ends up in the future with a memory wipe and not a future descendant. We don't know, but the fact that someone
Sound cut out.
Oh, you hear me? Hello? Do you hear me? You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Joe.
The fact that the
Yeah, sound cut out, but then it came back.
Okay.
I hear you.
The fact that
Yes.
he doesn't know what she is. She could be Mundy Flynn from the future. Not that she had descendants, right? But she's like, I don't care about that. I want to go home. Now, when she goes home, I believe that's her birthday, I think. Like 17 years from when her birthday was is her birthday, basically. So I'm believing that it's her birthday that the world blows up or whatever. But what I found interesting was that off air, he said he encountered someone from a different timeline that told him how important she is, but that he can't say because of timelines. Now, I don't know what the hell that means. I don't know.
Sound like Missy with Clara, doesn't it?
No, he said
no,
he
but
said
you know
a
what
man.
I mean?
He said a man.
But you know what I mean? Like when Missy set up Clara, weren't it? That's what I'm getting at. It seems sound similar to that, doesn't it?
Now, we do know that we were told that Joe Martin's fugitive doctor shows up unexpectedly this season at the end or in the middle or whatever, which sort of is related to what's going on. Now, I don't know if he's going to try to explain her placement in the doctor's timeline. But we have to remember that as much as we want the timeless child to go away, she's a different kind of storyline than the timeless child. Like, she's not necessarily connected as the timeless child's whole story arc. She's kind of was a different thing. So we're probably not going to get the answers we seek when it comes to her. But it is interesting that we have Miss Flood, who is now living somewhere else, which maybe it's multiple Miss Floods, or maybe it's like, you know, maybe she's the time traveler, maybe she's the Ronnie, maybe she has a TARDIS and she's just living in different areas connected to this whole thing. Maybe
I have a theory. I have a theory in this. I'm jumping in if you don't mind, just because it may tie into what you're saying.
Yeah, no.
Oh, what's going on with the chat?
Go ahead, Bill. You could go. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, it sounds you don't hear you. So, thinking back to the Time War for a moment, that happened because of all of the events that we've seen that we don't need to rehash right now. the Gallifreyans are back. So, do you think that maybe after something like the Time War, they might have already taken precautions so that they can't get wiped out again? Like maybe a few odd colonies here and there. I just have a feeling like we're going to find out that they weren't all on Gallifrey when the Master did what he did.
Well, they
And
weren't.
that may or may not have something to do with Mrs. Floyd. I'm not definitively saying that it does have anything to do with Mrs. Floyd, but it could.
Well, they weren't, because if we go by what happened in Hellbent Heaven Sent, he sent Rassilon and the High Council, banned them from Gallifrey. So they technically are ordered as the Lord President. They are ordered off Gallifrey. So technically, if anybody's alive, Rassilon and the High Council were not on Gallifrey when the Master destroyed it.
Without
hello, Cam.
Yeah, without a doubt. But I have a feeling that there's probably more than just the High Council that got off planet. Again, just for survival.
I mean, it would ruin his whole "I'm the last of the Time Lords" thing, because every time he says that, he's not the last of the Time Lords, obviously.
I saw a theory online, and I don't know how, because you know it's theory, innit? But I've seen one that said that could she be someone from the land of fiction?
I have no idea.
And that's why she's narrating the way she is. And she goes, "Oh, I don't want to be sick. Oh, don't tell. I was never here," and breaking the fourth wall a lot.
Well, supposedly Russell said she's a villain. I mean, flat out. Like he said, she's going to ring terror. So she's not going to be a nice person. She's going to be a villain. And the thing is, we know that shit goes down in the finale. But what I'm thinking is, while we were distracted with Belinda, Ruby Sunday could die. That could be a thing. Because don't forget, she was fired. She left. Like, she wasn't with Doctor anymore. Then they had to, I don't know if they had to get her back for whatever. There was a falling out with Russell. There was a whole thing. He got mad that she was complaining, filming overnight. And the next thing you know, they got his companion out of nowhere but then he regretted it because everybody loved Ruby Sunday, and this was before she even aired. So it was kind of like he was caught in a bind. But she's technically, like, it would make sense if Ruby dies because she's not with the show anymore. And that would drive him over the edge, where that could cause a wedge where he has a fight with Unit, leaves Earth, and then they have to fend for themselves against the Sea Devils in the spinoff. Okay? So again, there was never really a thing where the Doctor was against Unit or saw them as a villain or as a thing. There was a thing in the 50th that they did create technology to block the TARDIS from landing, and he didn't like that. But they never really implemented that. So, like, if Ruby dies and Unit is responsible, or the Doctor feels Unit is responsible, then he's gonna get fed up and leave. And then they could probably call the 14th Doctor for help, and if Martha Jones was involved, it would make sense for David Tennant to be involved as the 14th Doctor. If she is, because, again, the one that plays her sister is involved, but it's a different character. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I'm just saying that it was all supposed to connect to the Christmas special also that, some people are saying is canceled, which, for the life of me, I don't know how that's possible, as they've never canceled a Christmas special in existence when they said there's always going to be a Christmas special. Chibnall never wanted to do a Christmas special, but Russell said that while he's back, there will be a Christmas special every year, guaranteed, more than the season. So let's add Hayden to it, Modern Age Nerd. What's up, Hayden?
What's going on? How are you?
What's going on, bro?
Not much. Just listening to this beautiful program as always.
I know.
So I can see this look on your face, like you're just ready for me to tear shreds off of this.
Well, we're waiting.
You know what? I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say I'm against it, because in some cases the show deserves it. So I'm fully comfortable with what you have to say. Go ahead.
I'm gonna make a bold statement here, and it's gonna be outrageous for most people to hear. I think we are fans of speculating about Doctor Who, not of Doctor Who. I don't think this show has been good for a long time. I think this is
bad
a
wolf.
show aimed at children, and I think our nostalgia has convinced us it's good, but this is not even in the top 30 shows on TV. This is CBeebies bullshit. This is like, they are absolutely out of ideas. They have got no ideas left. Like, how many times can we tease a magical woman who keeps popping up somewhere? Like, we've been doing this for 7 to 8 years now. Whether it's the woman in the shop, whether it's Clara, like whether it's River Song, how many times can there be a mysterious woman?
I'm going to add something to that, and then you can continue. I was talking to Scott about this yesterday, and I says, I don't know if the viewers are going to remember all our podcasts, but I remember talking with Scott saying how they need to open up a Doctor Who season where the Earth is completely fucking destroyed. And then take it from there. They have to travel in space. They have to do whatever, go to different planets, and then resolve it in the end where Earth is saved. Me and Scott have said that over and over and over and over and over again so many times that maybe somebody took that, because I said, if you destroy his favorite fucking place to go and he can't go there, where the fuck is he gonna go, right? And that would force them to be on different planets where we want them off Earth because we want to see different planets, right?
Yeah.
Well,
but in this case, oh no, we're still going to fucking go to Earth. We just can't go to that fucking day, which is ridiculous.
It was a good call. You've done it. I'll give you the credit. I think what I love about Doctor Who is anytime we're on an alien planet, it's always some rebel force or spaceship crew, and they're always British. And I know that the show say it's the TARDIS translation matrix or whatever, but after a while, you're like, every week it feels like it's just the same interchangeable crew of side characters that we get.
Right.
And like this one was the same thing. Oh wait, you go.
I know how the Doctor needs to break the fourth wall just once. He needs to look at his companion and say, look, our budget is too low for us to go to another planet. Hand her some mushrooms and say, here, eat these.
Look, I know you've got your issues on Twitter with, there's a lot of people out there who just want this show to be done, so they'll just sort of
you can bring it into it because it makes sense, because what you said makes sense. Like, we want it to be one way, but maybe it's not what we want.
It's almost exhausting. Like, how long can we just speculate that this show can be great before it's like, I'm done. I've got no energy to hope for this show to be good, because, look, over the weekend I watched the new season of Black Mirror, and I watched a show called Dark Matter with Joe Edgerton on Apple TV+. If you haven't seen it, I think you would love it.
I've seen Black Mirror before. I did like Black Mirror before.
Yeah, well, look, either of these shows absolutely destroying Russell T Davies in the sci-fi TV department, especially Black Mirror. I think Charlie Brooker's sort of got his beat with Black Mirror this weekend. And you watch Doctor Who and you get that it is a kid's show. It is aimed at families, but it's almost like Doctor Who when it was in 2005 was aimed at the sort of probably like 8 to 16 market. This seems like it's aimed at the 4 to 12 market.
Now, in fairness, I could outdo Russell T Davies in science fiction with stick figures.
He has the same Deus Ex Machina ending every episode. Like, even Moffat did to a degree, where it was just like, one magic word saves the day or something silly. But I feel like we really need some new writers if it's going to keep going. But look, Joe, I know we keep saying Series 3 is happening. I'm just not feeling it. I feel like this could be the end.
I gotta tell you, there was some moments last season where I was almost done, right? In fact, when I saw Rogue, I was almost done, right? Sharon actually sat me down, like therapy, and was talking to me seriously, because she knows that I've been watching this since I was in kindergarten, and this show means everything to me. And she knows me for decades. We went to school together since 7th grade. She knows me as a friend, a best friend, and now future wife. And she knows how important this show means to me, that I can never really cut it away. And I was almost done with that episode. And she sat down and she talked to me and she's like, okay, first of all, who wrote it? And I'm like, oh, that friggin' Loki writer. She's like, well, there you go. One, that's the writer you weren't crazy about, that they made Loki gay, that Russell T Davis attacked in the first place, that now that Disney Plus is in charge of it, made Russell make peace with her to give her an episode to write, and she purposely did that to shove it up the ass, basically, to screw with Russell and screw with everybody, and he can't do nothing about it. So again, she did what she had to do because she was being fucking that way, right?
Yeah.
So she's like, he didn't do it. He didn't write it. Okay. So like again, would it affect you if he's gay or not? Is he still gonna save planets? Is he still gonna say? I'm like, yeah, he's still gonna do what he's gonna do whether he's gay or not. So she's like, why does it bother you? Who cares with who he sleeps with? Like he's still the doctor at the end of the day, and you really shouldn't bother. You shouldn't bother you, and you shouldn't whatever. Do you care what the color of his skin is? No. Do you care whatever? No. Okay, so what's the difference, right? And again, it made sense because again, I as a person, between my Catholic beliefs and everything, my beliefs are as long as you're happy, I'm happy. If you want to be gay, if you want to have a relationship, whatever, I'm happy with that. So nobody should interfere with that, right? And that's my feeling, right? So, and she's true. I shouldn't care whether he's gay or not, but at the end of the day, he's still going to be the doctor. Well, who knows? I mean, go ahead.
I have to interject to say that I would hope that the issue was never, oh, geez, he's black or he's gay. I mean, come on.
Right.
One, it's petty, but two, if you look in the terms of Doctor Who and you're changing on the cellular level, there's no way that you're going to have incarnations that aren't everything under the sun at some point. Further, you know, I think the real issue at hand, and that's all that I've heard expressed anyway, and it's certainly all that I've expressed, is the writing. I mean, Jesus Christ, at this point, after watching an episode of Doctor Who, I'm going to go watch porn for better writing.
Well, if I could just add something to that, and you can continue. I think the thing that bothered me about Rogue was the fact that it took years to establish a love for Rogue. Rogue, I'm talking about. It took years to establish a romance with Rose or River or Clara, and he fell in love in 15 minutes with this guy that I was like, how is this possible? He's ready to marry the person he just met when it's taken years for the doctor to open up or to admit that he loves Rose or whatever it was, or even River so much, because River was kind of forced into his life that she becomes everything to him, that he tells her his real name. So the only person besides River that knew the doctor's real name was Clara, because she found it in a book in the TARDIS that was like liquid form, which is crazy. So
and you know, a whole bunch of people on Gallifrey who just conveniently never mention it.
Yeah. At least the episode wasn't, like we said, wasn't as bad as Space Babies in that form.
Oh, Scott's here.
Oh, Scott's here.
Hey,
hello. Scott.
Hello.
Hello.
They're all coming out of the shell now.
I just love my pretty hair.
Yeah. Scott, I'm sorry I started without you. I kept telling them like a certain time, but then when you didn't come in, I don't want to wait them to wait forever. So I don't blame you.
I thought you guys were already over when I saw the time. So
yeah.
Now we're just getting started.
No, but again, Bill can continue about. So basically, I was just upset with the fact that was rushed and everything. Not the fact that he's gay. It was just that, you know, they just made it that he was in love instantaneously, where it took years for him to be in love or admit his love for any of the companions. But anyway, so I was almost gone with that, okay? But I wasn't. And again, yes, Hayden brought up the fact that I have a lot of hatred, a lot of haters out there trying to, you know what it is? It's always been, I'm not trying to bring it up, but unfortunately, for some reason, for people that they think they need to rise, they feel that they need to destroy me to bounce off me to rise. And this has happened many times, unfortunately, with our own members, where people have tried to do that. It blew up in their face, and then the majority of them are gone, and I'm still here, and one person's still there. But in this case, Noel did that, and it sort of didn't work out the way he figured because I didn't go anywhere. As much as he, and again, I don't think anybody has gone to such lengths as he has to try to destroy my income, my book brand, everything I've built up in my life because of a TV show. But then again, we did have worse threats with trolls basically trying to get me fired from my job by calling my job and messing with Sharon to try to get us broken up, threatening her with her job. So there's been shit going on because of a TV show, because of Doctor Who, which was nuts, that we went through in my life. So I really don't like that aspect of it, and I kind of, as I'm getting older, I'm getting tired of it. You know, I was even telling Scott, I'm like, is it worth it?
Wow.
Is it worth it to even do cast anymore?
Yeah, if we could, Joe, if we continue down this particular rabbit hole, we could get into an entire dissertation on why I'm a misanthrope. I like certain individuals, and I can't stand the rest of humanity. Let's go somewhere else with this.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna really dwell on it too much. I'm just saying that I was just talking to Scott the other day, and I was saying how, Scott, is it worth it? Is it? I mean, if I always said that if this was like a job, then I would stop doing the Real Whovians cast and podcasts in general because it was too much work, right? And I said if it starts to get where I'm getting more stressed out, where I'm getting a heart attack than anything else, you know, then I was going to stop doing the Real Whovians cast. But at the same time, I never want a person to think that they're going to defeat me and win as a bully. So I'm kind of torn with that. But again, I've had enough.
Oh, shit,
I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough that people, like, because of Doctor Who, I spent a lot of money on those books. Hayden knows. He did wonderful artwork on that. I really, you know, when I did take a thousands of dollars loss because I released the last book before the pandemic, and I sort of gave the books a break. I went in a different direction since the pandemic. I went in the gaming direction. I stopped the podcast mostly. I did food reviews. People got confused. And then I did podcasts here and there. But again, like, I want to have fun, and I want to talk about Doctor Who, and I don't want to go through this bullshit. So, like I was telling Scott, you know, it made our show last that much. But the fact that we've had our own members recently have been attacking each other,
which is quite childish in itself,
has gotten me to a point where, I mean, I can't believe I feel like I'm a school teacher and I had to, like, tell people they're no longer part of the show. Because again, what was the one rule, Scott, right? Was I want everyone to be able to be friendly on here, despite not agreeing with each other. I said if anybody disrespects anybody else in this cast, they're gone. And I said if anybody disrespects me, they're gone. If you want to tell me off, you do it on the side, off air. Could we do an off air, Joe? Fine. Not on the air. And I was always about that professionalism. This fact that things are getting into it where it has nothing to do with Doctor Who, it has to do with voting for a president. Which, again, what did you eat for breakfast? I had a donut. Well, I don't like donuts, so I can't be part of that. Like, I don't want. I'm not going to get into it, but I'm just saying that it's gotten to be now every little thing that people are breaking up with each other, and it's the election. It's people's personal beliefs. It's people's religion that's getting into it now.
Hello, Liam.
And I for the life of me don't know why that's happening. And then also the fact too, which, you know, Hayden, you brought up too, like, you just want to come on here and talk about Doctor Who.
Yeah.
You don't want to be trolled. Who
I
the
just want to
fuck
get
wants?
a KFC and talk some Doctor Who, you know.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
yeah.
I want to talk about
I don't even think I want to talk Doctor Who anymore. I think I just watch Doctor Who so I can come on here to talk shit with you guys.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it doesn't like wait for Phil to come in.
What do you think
What
about
one
what
second,
my...
Ray, one second. I just want to wait for him to get in.
No, I'm just going to ask, what do you think about what my friend Cam said? About would you go do what Cam said? He said, would you guys, instead of them going to space or another planet, would you be open to them going back in time to events in history like wars or that?
Why can't I see that? Oh, it's a private chat.
No, it's on the
No, I
comments.
can see it too.
I can't see it.
I see it under comments.
What is it? Why don't you answer it, Scott? Because I can't see it.
Okay, he said, would you guys, instead of them going to space or another planet, would you be open them going back in time, maybe key events in history like wars and pivotal? They actually did that. In truth,
Okay, I don't want that because I had that in other TV shows like Voyagers
yeah.
and stuff like that. That was one of my favorite shows growing up.
They already did.
Yeah, I don't want to
edit with the Rosa Parks episode. I forget.
Yeah,
what,
I don't like when they do that because they take their liberties from the UK point of view from American history and they distort it to the UK perspective, and it's never coming out right. So I really don't want those type of episodes. But again, I just want to touch on this. We'll go right back to Doctor Who. The stuff that we're getting where, oh, you're a meat eater. I'm just saying in general. Not that that's really what's going on with the cast, but nowadays everybody's offensive to everybody else, and our own members are offending each other. God forbid you fucking are a vegan. I don't want to be part of the Real Whovians cast. You voted for this person in the election. You're scum. I guess I don't understand what that has to do with Doctor Who. Again, we've always been from different wakes of life, right? It doesn't matter what I eat, what I drink, what I do. I'm here to talk about Doctor Who. It doesn't matter who I voted for. It doesn't matter. The fact that I can't believe we had that going on, Scott, where we're talking, people have been in cast with each other for like 1,000 fucking episodes. And I'm cursing because this is the 2000th episode. Hayden was probably in what, hundreds of episodes, right? Scott has been since what, episode 2?
Or
6?
Yeah.
This is 2000. We have people that it's like they got their memory wiped, that they've been in here hours at a time for over 1,000 episodes, and it's like they're dealing with each other for the first time, and they're threatening each other, they're ripping each other apart, all because of fucking an election, which I can't believe that. So now, and besides that too, other people coming to me that they don't want to be part of the show anymore because they don't want to be trolled. You know what? Here's the thing. As much as I want to protect everybody here, I can't tell you that you're going to be protected from being trolled. I can't make that promise. And the fact that it already happened, where there was some members that wanted to go after Noel because he did a diss track about the Real Whovians, that I told them, please don't do that, and they didn't, right? Then we had Noel's people attack our people, innocents, and that opened up the can of worms. Scott went to talk, say something to Noel because you were fed up.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. So now I can't make any...
When you have a moment, please
if I come out and say something, I have had enough.
Do you think the fact that we all thought the dialogue in this episode was so bad is going to bring us together?
The dialogue was bad. Let's go back to the episode. The dialogue was atrocious. Who the fuck says, tell the police I'm being kidnapped by robots?
Yeah.
Right.
And then the whole killing the cat thing. I'm sorry. Come
Like,
on.
the cat is on the farm. No, the cat bit the farm.
When,
Yeah.
you know, hold on. When the robot made the comment about the irrelevance of the cat,
Yeah.
the only thing that well,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot could have made the bad writing better. But what would have been great is if a Dalek popped up from around the corner and went, "What is wrong with you?"
You know what the sad part is? In Waters of Mars, you had a scene where the Dalek was going to shoot a child and didn't, right?
Yeah.
And they tried to make it because she was special to time, right? We've never seen the Dalek shoot a child. But again, you thought, oh shit, for a minute there, because they are evil, right?
Yeah.
They were going to shoot a child. This fucking thing just shot a cat.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I can't believe the amount of people that are so upset about the thing shooting a cat that people on X were saying that they would rather them shot a person than a cat.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Then there was that line when
Well,
the
cats
when
are
the-
useful. I can understand it.
Then there was that line when the robot was destroying the house and she said, my landlord's a really bad man.
Yeah.
Like,
Look,
what?
again,
Oh.
it was a mess of a dialogue. I gotta admit, and
It was.
I don't know why.
I will
I don't know
I will
what
go
Russell was
on
thinking.
I will go on record and says I did like it. Yes, the dialogue was, let's put it this way, questionable.
The dialogue was shit. In some look, I said it before we did the episode. I said when I saw the clip, this is the biggest pile of monkey shit I've seen in dialogue. It's like when we heard Judy go to Susan Twist, you're an ambulance! And I went like, oh, fucking cornball, no. Why did you fucking say that?
It's
No,
like-
Joe, the worst dialogue was, hello, little fly. I'm enjoying
Yeah,
it. I don't
it's
have many friends. That was an absolute bowl of crap.
Exactly.
Okay, Belinda, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Belinda.
It's something when the dialogue in Space Babies, even though that episode was shit, was better than this episode for
The
dialogue.
boogie.
Pardon the pun about shit.
Look, you know what? Again, it's so hard for me because Scott knows I interact and I say stuff to Russell on Instagram. He likes my shit. We have the connection with Marty where Marty actually talks to Russell, and Marty was in a situation where he was going for a job for Bad Wolf, and they told Marty, listen, Marty, if you get the job with Bad Wolf, you can't do the Real Whovians cast anymore because you can't spoil stuff to us, which it was understood. And he did take a different job.
Destruction of the planet Earth.
Right. So in other
in this episode, what happens at the
So
end?
again, I do like Russell. Okay, I may not agree with stuff his political stance. I may not agree with stuff that he's trying to convey, but ultimately, I like Russell, and we have a good I'll communicate whatever, and then he sends stuff to Marty to let us know, right? So like he did tell Marty that time for us to know, don't worry about season 3, everything's under control. And then he went on and did an interview, and you're like, oh, I have to wait till Disney Plus to make an announcement, and it's like a paradox, and it's like, wait a minute, he just told Marty to tell us, so what does that mean? So again, it is what it is. If I don't like something, I'm gonna say it, and if it comes out wrong or if it comes out bad, I hope he understands. But ultimately, he could have wrote better for that.
Like I said, I enjoyed the episode. I
did too.
Yeah,
but
I really did enjoy the episode. The whole temporarily displaced stuff that went on.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And
that's what made it pass for me. But but another thing too, if he doesn't know about gamers because he's not a gamer, I'm a gamer. Don't make it like gamers want to kill people in real life and they're evil. That's not. That guy was just an asshole.
Yeah,
I agree.
And we're all incels apparently.
Yeah, I'm not an asshole. I mean, maybe to some people, maybe I am an asshole, and a lot of people have called me an asshole. And I don't know if I'm an asshole because of gaming. Because if you remember when I was doing this, I wasn't really gaming. So, but again, it is what it is. The
Well, the
timey-wimey thing is what hooked me because
I thought because that whole phasing thing, I loved how they pretty much did
blah,
everything
blah, blah.
so it stuttered, and then you find out that little star chart thing that she was given.
But the thing is, even though it was fixed, it's not fixed because she is tied to it all.
Yeah.
Because listen, and I said this I was on a whole bunch of podcasts and the chats, and I've been talking about this. If she dies, the whole timeline is fucked. Okay? Because if she has kids all the way up to the 51st century, and if this kid saves a life, and if this kid saves a planet, and if this kid saves the universe, all that shit's not going to happen. And once it gets caught up to shooting Doctor, that timeline will change. And he's a time traveler. So if his timeline changes and if he travels to the past changes, the present changes, a new future is born, leading to the same cycle of all new timelines created in a circular manner, branching off forever because of her. And it can never be fixed. So maybe he's not meant to be with her but again, we don't know. Maybe she doesn't have any descendants. Maybe she gets into an accident, her memory gets wiped, and she's put into the 51st century. We don't know because he even said it's kind of impossible that your DNA is an exact match. The probability of it being an exact match after centuries is almost impossible.
She got pissed for him doing that DNA test too.
And Scott, I did say maybe it's because I was in the medical field that I understand that though.
Yeah.
Because you can't really do that. That's like the HIPAA law thing. You can't really, like a doctor can't just do a test without permission. You can't. And him he was, you know what it is? If he wasn't parading about it, she probably wouldn't have made a big deal out of it. But
I agree. She got pissed and she had the right.
He was kind of being reckless. He was kind of being like a kid. Because every time he's regenerated, he's not an old man anymore. He's a kid. So it's like he's jumping around, running around, and he's like all fucking. She's like, no, take me home. Fuck that. And he's like,
but that robot made me laugh. When he
wait a minute. Does that mean that Sorry. Wait till you go, and I just had wait till you go.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So does that mean that after the Doctor is newly regenerated in incarnation, that the first episode that we see, the Doctor's basically on that stage where the puppy humps every leg that it can?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so I mean, at least he ain't choking out a companion after regenerating. Which
he's choking a leg.
Good old 60.
I look again. I'll always be that kid that was traumatized because watching Doctor Who, and then all of a sudden he's trying to kill his companion. I think that one event made me hate his Doctor from the start, right? And while I did hate his Doctor for a while, it did have the greatest episodes with the Valyard and everything, which had changed my tune. And then I took it off as there was just the after effect of the regeneration, that his brain was scrambled and he didn't know what the fuck he was doing because of the poison went too far. And even though he regenerated, he was still fucked up a little bit. Yeah. But I never really want to fucking see that again. Right.
No.
And again, the fact that they brought the Valyard into it, that ties in with the choking of the companion, meaning that he is capable of that evil, is kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, back to Doctor Who. It was really kiddie-ish at times. It was really it's like what the fuck?
This is what I've been noticing a lot with the new series. They try to do a Rose every single time.
Yeah.
And with the new Shooty, I'm hoping I'm seeing this wrong. They're trying to do an updated of the Space Babies.
Well, they tried to make it first. Some people would make it like she was going to be Clara, the Impossible Girl.
Yeah.
Going to be she's not. She's not. And from seeing the episode, she's not. Right.
Yeah.
They were tying her to Tegan Javanka.
Yeah.
She's not, because she's just doesn't give a fuck, wants to go home. I don't fucking care. Right? Right? Where Tegan, liked trying with the doctor after a while, different things, respected the doctor. She don't give a fuck. She wants to go home. You don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Okay? She's a different type of companion. All right? And again, it's a refreshing change. Okay? Me, I kind of feel robbed because, again, I was really liking Ruby Sunday, and all of a sudden, I felt she shouldn't have been a one-season companion. And then, again, they're filming with her. She got fired immediately, which we didn't know happened. And then all of a sudden, this one was brought in. Maybe the scripts were rewritten. And it's like, I think you made a mistake, Russell. Like that, she shouldn't have been gone, right? Because people loved her after she appeared. Like, she was let go before the thing even started. And then people were like,
"Oh, with Bill." Technically.
Right. But people loved her, and he's like, oh, shit, I fucked up, maybe. But Russell admits that he fucks up sometimes because, again, there's stuff that he does, like he attacked that Loki writer, maybe in the manner he did it was fucked up. And now we got the situation because of that because he's with Disney Plus and she's in Disney Plus, they wanted him to make peace with her.
Yeah.
And do the right thing. And he hired her. And then
I know I'm going to sound like a broken record. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but to this day, I think they missed their chance of having Bill being from the past. They could still have her go through the same linear time thing, but hear me out. The way the way Moffat wrote her, with her being of a certain race, they could have had her between the 70s and 80s, and with what was going on in the 80s and a certain ailment that could be done, and with her being and then with her in the if she was from the 70s, once again, I know I'm basing a lot of this in US type of things, but with her being her race and a certain sexuality, to me, the way he wrote her, she would have worked real great from those two eras,
right?
Instead,
I do want to
day, which I'm getting real tired of.
Okay, so Moffat had explained this whole situation in an interview. What you're talking about, Scott?
Yeah.
And what he conveyed is basically everybody didn't want to deal, like Russell Chibnall did not want to fucking deal with the headache of writing for a companion in the past, because if they got it wrong, it would be an embarrassment to their education that they brought up something from the future that they wouldn't possibly know, and they would fuck up, right? So Russell and Chibnall, absolutely not. Moffat was gonna do that with Clara, but then he realized when he was doing it, and he changed it. They're right. It's a fucking headache, and again, he would have to be 100% stressed out, that he would have to be on his A game 24/7, putting out the most perfect script ever with no room for laziness, no room for error, because he would have to get that dialogue right, and he didn't want to deal with that either. So that's why they said, we are never going to get a companion ever from the past, ever.
Then have him be an alien.
We're never going to get a companion ever under Russell, Moffat, or Chibnall that could speak from a certain time period, because it's too much of a headache for those three.
It's too expensive every time the companion returns home to have to, dress up sets that are in, and, dress up actors who are from another time or planet. It's like,
I understand that. But still, it's just like,
you just never know with their budget, because it always seems like they have a huge budget, and then the budget seems so small some weeks.
The only person that would have done that if he came on, and again, I'm not trying to, despite the accusations to the one I'm talking about, I'm not saying after what we just learned he should do it now. But in the past, when we didn't know anything about that, Neil Gaiman would have been the only one that would have wanted to do that. And is educated enough that in some cases more than Moffat and Russell to do that. But again, I'm not saying now with the current stuff going on, like we would want that. But he was the only one that was willing to do that. And I think he expressed that he would do that if he became part of the season regularly. Because we got that in The Doctor's Wife, and I really enjoyed that. Despite, like I said, whatever people do in their real life really has no bearings on Doctor Who. But again, whatever.
Did it bother anyone else that Belinda was just like so okay with being in space? There was no like anxiety or panic, like, oh my god, I'm on a planet. It was just like, I don't want to be here.
I didn't understand when did he tell her he traveled in the TARDIS? Because I don't remember him telling her the name of the TARDIS. I don't remember him saying, I have a ship called the TARDIS. So she knew the name of the TARDIS by what it looked like, but she didn't know what it was inside.
Yeah. Freudian slip.
Maybe that'll be this week at the start of the episode.
I forgot to mention earlier that I had noticed too.
So maybe there's a connection with that. Why she knew the name.
That's what I meant.
We definitely have.
So she knew the name.
We have a mystery put right in front of our faces.
Yeah, the fact that she knows that a police box is called a TARDIS. Okay, so now here's another thing I want to bring up too. There was a mention that Unit is going to be called out by Ruby's boyfriend to the public that they're an evil organization and they're doing evil stuff and we're not aware of it. And he tries to end the Unit through social media. And he tries to get everything gathered to the date that the Earth is destroyed for Unit, right? Now, the thing is, we've always known Unit to be a great, beautiful, wonderful organization, honorable from the Brigadier.
Right.
But there is a thing that we have not addressed on the Whovians cast, and that is, how is it that the entire world does not remember the Daleks, and they don't remember any alien invasion that has ever happened in history? And then you go back to like the Giggle, or you go back to episodes, and Unit and Kate is like calling for all these orders, like sweep the perimeter or whatever. Yeah. Is it that they're gonna make it that Unit is like Men in Black and erases everyone's memory of alien invasions?
I hope not. I really hope not.
Because we thought they didn't remember the Daleks because the timeline kept changing. Because Donna didn't know who they were from the events of with Rose, with Doomsday, and then Donna didn't know. Amy Pond didn't know before she encountered the Doctor, and he's like, how could they not know the Daleks? So the only thing would be, if it's not the time being altered, it's the same timeline, it would have to be somebody erasing their memory of the alien threats. And if it turns out that, let's say Ruby dies because, let's say Unit has been doing this and Ruby dies because she's not aware of an alien threat and gets killed, that would piss the Doctor off, where he would be, you are evil. You are, who the fuck elected you to erase these people's memory?
Here's another notion. Remember, the Master was stuck on Earth for a certain number of years. What if he was the one behind the erasing?
No, because the thing is, it's been a positive effect for the people for them not knowing for some reason, right? Yeah. But it could cause a negative effect, because if you're not familiar with your enemy and your enemy strikes, you're going to get killed.
You're going to repeat the same mistake.
You're going to get killed, right? Yeah. So if Ruby, and again, I kept hearing this rumor that Ruby was going to die and he's going to flip the fuck out at Unit. Well, if that's the case, then that's not on the Brigadier. That's on Kate. Because again, the Brigadier, the Doctor made the Brigadier honorable. But don't forget, the Brigadier, he's like, oh, the Doctor just pulled away in the car? All right. Kill these motherfuckers. All right. 30 rounds rabbit.
Now,
motherfucker.
never forget
Right?
that we're also talking about the same Doctor who, in his first incarnation, had to be stopped by his companions.
Yeah.
He was going to bash a caveman's head in with a skull because
Correct.
he was inferior and making him slow down.
Correct.
He
And
was much
also,
more like the Master when he started out.
right. And also, people forget they're trying to make it like the Doctor values all life. But what they fail to mention is that Al killed millions of people on the planet through the robot revolution, which led to Sasha 55 dying because of Al. And then the Doctor sees him as sperm that just got swept up the rug, right?
Yeah.
Again, here's the thing. When there was the threat where Adric was going to die, right? No, but again, you're trying to, you're forgetting who the Doctor was, right? When Tegan and Nyssa was trying to save Adric with the Doctor and they had to deal with the Cybermen, the Doctor blasted the motherfucker with the cyber fucking gun. He stabbed the fucking prick with the fucking star in the fucking chest, right?
It was trimmed with gold.
No, but what I'm saying is they were in a rush to save Adric. He fucking, again, he shot the motherfuckers. He stabbed the motherfuckers trying to save his companion. He was too late. And again, after that, he really, I'm sorry, he's not going to give a fuck about the Cybermen after that for a couple incarnations. I'm sorry. And again, when push came to shove, Peter Davison's Doctor held a gun, where the 10th Doctor doesn't hold a gun, and he shot Omega flat out, fuck you. Just like people forget that when Sarah Jane was in jeopardy, the 4th Doctor, regardless of knowing what's in the room, whoever was associated with Morbius, right, the henchmen, I'm going to put gas in the vents that are going to kill these motherfuckers, okay? Don't even give a fuck, because if they're too stupid to follow a villain, they're all going to die.
Didn't the Time War change him, though, where he just wouldn't want to fight anymore?
Correct, but still, he's been that, because when he gets angry...
There's a Peter...
There's what?
There is a Peter Davison outtake where he's shooting at Omega and he says, "This is Doctor Town, bitch."
So the point is, like, I think where it changed was the violence of the 5th, the violence of the 6th. The moment he encountered the Valyard, that was it, right? Mm-hmm. That was it, up until he almost choked the shit out of the Master in Survival. But he was becoming a cat creature, and he stopped, right?
If we live like animals, we die like animals.
Thank you.
So the moment he found out,
all of a sudden he said, "Wait, you're not Terry."
Right. The moment he found out that he's going to become the most evilest cocksucker in existence if he keeps heading down that path of being a little bit each incarnation, he's going to be pure fucking evil, right? That's when that shit stopped, okay? And then you sort of got the manipulation of the 7th, where he kind of like, he could have fucking blew up Scarrow, but he tricked the villain into killing their own fucking, blowing up their own fucking son. He manipulated people to end themselves, right? It was kind of fucked up, but the 7th Doctor sort of said, all right, I'm not going to be evil by doing it, but I'm just going to fucking be clever to trick them to do it, right? So again, the Eighth Doctor, by the time the Eighth Doctor came along, he's like, oh no, I'm not, no guns, no nothing. I'm not going to be part of the Time War. I'm not doing it. And that's where you got the War Doctor, which.
Why do I picture the Seventh Doctor?
What?
Why does he picture the
Why
Seventh
do I picture
Doctor?
the Seventh Doctor reading Nietzsche?
I
Yeah,
still
why do I
don't
picture him reading Nietzsche?
Reading Nietzsche. The
I
Seventh
picture
Doctor.
the Seventh Doctor reading Nietzsche.
Reading Nietzsche?
Yeah.
Philosopher.
Like,
Oh,
it would
I'm
really
sorry.
fit his character to see him in a scene just sitting there.
He was very
reading
nihilistic.
His work.
Well, you know what? Not for nothing. I think those were the best episodes where he's playing chess with Kurt Fenric thing, and you got to see that. Oh my God, maybe he was evil in the past, the Doctor, and he kind of was part of the bad boys club, and then he said, "Oh fuck it, this is not for me." Right? Maybe somebody gave him a puppy and he changed his tune. I don't know, but like maybe the Doctor was pure fucking evil at one point. Who knows? But again. You know,
answer
it fits really
GP
well
why
because again, with the first Doctor, he was murderous.
well, I'm again. Here's the thing: did maybe him having a family kind of mellow him to maybe I should be a good person? Maybe he was not a nice person, and the fact that he had a family now kind of is like, oh, I need to, who knows?
Well, I feel like largely his companions are what humanized him because, again, first Doctor homicidal streak you saw there in the very beginning.
And
it's sort of like he needs.
At one point in time, don't travel by yourself in a way.
Right, because again, what happened when he traveled by himself? The time was victorious. He was this close to becoming the Valyard. Like, I mean, this close. He was definitely becoming the Valyard. Right there and then. 100%.
What would have been what would have been even better for that episode is that as he's doing that, they could have superinlaid the Valyard's face as though it was almost like about to come through, and that.
But you know what it is? That death of her killing herself.
Yeah.
Put the thing in his subconsciousness.
Yeah.
Of am I a good man? Which carried over from the 11th Doctor into the 12th because it was in his subconscious still.
Yeah, like I said, you know how in the last bit of the movie Psycho, you see that skull pop through his face. I think if they could have done the same thing with the Valyard's face, slowly, like I'm not going to say it morphs, but you could see that sort of like an image of the Valyard's face almost superimposed on the through on the.
And I just want to add too, because I'm really deep
along the lines of what you're saying. Well, along the lines of what you're saying, I think that with the Hand Doctor still being out there, we have the opportunity to have that one go through a thing where perhaps we get
the Meta-Crisis you're talking about.
Thank you, CGI. Yeah, that Doctor is still out there. So maybe we can, through the art of CGI, have David Tennant regenerate into Michael Jaston.
Well, again, that's what I see. The theory I had is that if he does get regenerations or the regenerations get in, we don't know if he has the ability to regenerate, it's blocked, or if he could get regenerations, because I know different things are different with the fact that, look, the whole thing is we did learn, regardless of them mentioning it, that the Time Lords sort of put a limit on the regeneration energy and that it was really continuous, never ending, because they said that they die over and over and over again battling the Daleks endlessly. So that was implemented, that like term limits, that the Time Lords can regenerate indefinitely. It's just they did that, right? So anyway, getting back to the thing, it is possible that the Meta-Crisis Doctor could get regenerations and that his mind gets wiped and that Joe Martin comes to play thinking she's the first Doctor, but she's not. From the Meta-Crisis Doctor.
To answer GP's question, he says, What was the best Doctor Who series in your opinion as a group? I'm sorry, I'm gonna go all the way back. I gotta go to the original. Tom Baker, since he's the one that I started with.
Tom Baker was my doctor that I started with Sutek in Pyramids of Mars. As far as New Who goes, I sort of like, even though we kind of had a lot of issues with Moffat, I sort of like, even though I'm a big fan of David Tennant, David Tennant was my favorite of New Who, I sort of like Matt Smith's whole era as more fun and more.
Yeah, same here.
I look forward to things more with Moffat.
The Beast Below of his is my favorite episode.
Because Moffat I don't know what it was. It was just you had a better chance of having a better time with Moffat than Russell T Davies because he made it such epic. Like even it was so important to him even to have the trailers be fucking accurate. Like the way he constructed the trailers with the Pandorica and made it like motion picture and like it was fucking incredible. Going even into Capaldi, like he just really got us interested in it. And Moffat was the one that sort of expanded it to like America more than Russell, like getting it on the buses, getting it in Times Square, getting it to film in New York, getting it to film in Texas or wherever, like different parts of the world. Like he sort of he opened the door for it to be more around the world than just, you know.
And me and you agree, Joe, that Rings of Rakatan is amazing.
I love that, but my favorite. But the thing is, we just didn't like it that he never fucking explained anything. Like, and again, it may have been possible that he was going to, because again, he thought Matt Smith was going to stay a whole year. He didn't. You know, but anyway, let's get back to. This is not it's a monumental 2000th episode. We're talking about everything, but I kind of want to get back to Robot Revolution because that's why we're here mostly. This is the thing. They need to establish, and they have to get permission with the BBC. Going forward, the first episode needs to be longer than any episode throughout the season, and the finale needs to be longer. And I don't care.
Okay, better yet, if the final episode either needs to be longer or a two-parter. Let's go that route.
No, it is two-parter, but it needs to be longer, right? Because this is the problem that we have. He always fucks up the last part of the finale, right? And I don't like that. The first part of the finale, fantastic last year. The second part went to shit, kind of, right? Nowhere near, right? It's like you guys ever watch American Horror Story and you're getting into the season, right? And then all of a sudden it's like they fucking end the season, but then you got another episode or two to go and it's like filler.
It's almost as though he saves all his gumption for the holiday or Christmas special.
It's just they fuck up the end. So and again, always in the beginning, he fucks up the beginning and he fucks up the end, right? And I'm sorry to use the cursing, but I'm just tired of it. I feel that it should have been longer so they could have dealt with, one, who the fuck this bitch was, Sasha 55. Was she a girlfriend? Because I kind of got the impression she was a girlfriend, right? Like a flat out girlfriend, not a friend, a girlfriend. Because
or he was trying to get her to become so.
No, she wasn't. She was a girlfriend before she was even a companion because he never traveled with her. So I kind of feel that she was a girlfriend before a companion, and that she wanted to be a companion too. And we never got to even mourn her because we don't know who the fuck she was. Also, we never got to see the struggle of the race going from friends to the robots to enemies to the robots to the death to the military to the people that had pure hatred for her in some cases but then loved her in some cases. We didn't get to see what the people's feelings were about the whole situation, about their world getting fucked up for unexplained reasons, and their whole culture getting fucked, right? And I felt it was a rush job to everything. That's why I feel going forward, the first episode needs to be longer, and the last episode needs to be longer. And you want to do a 2-part finale, fine. But again, the first episode needs to be longer. The last episode needs to be longer. You work it out in BBC, on TV, with your adverts and your commercials, and you schedule it. I don't know, whatever the reasoning is, that it had to be a short episode, but they have to be longer, I think, going forward, because you
Hey,
when
Joe,
you
can
rush.
you tell me? Can you tell me how did the robots find out that this guy registered the name of a star with a random company that gives out gift certificates?
When she was going through that, remember when she was going to that planet and all the temporal shift? They even explained it. She said,
No, they
"Why
didn't.
go after such and such?"
No, Scott, there was something else that he said happened that we don't know, because
Well, that was the stuff that was revealed.
no. But besides, yeah, okay, we know him, but they got someone travels to the far future to get that document from the doctor, because the doctor has it in the TARDIS.
That's right.
So,
yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Scott, is that
Yeah.
besides them going after him, somebody is connected with that planet that goes to the far future, where how the fuck does that document end up in somebody's hands? Is the doctor
Sasha
dead?
55?
Is the TARDIS destroyed? Did they get stuff from the TARDIS? We don't know. But somehow that somebody in the far future gets the document, alters the past, which is probably what causes the time fissures in the first place. And she's just part of it. But again, that didn't happen yet, Scott. Just like we didn't see who he talked to from another timeline that told him, hey, you need to go see her right now.
Has this got anything to do with the flux, all of these time rifts and...
No. But
No?
Sorry, Joe. But if you think about it, well, when Alan was sitting in that chair, he's, and that bloke comes in, the council member, or whatever, says, your technology's 10 years ahead of us. How did he know that what's doing the 10 years?
Because the robots had brought technology back from the present time to the past, which was 10 years ahead. And those robots communicated with those robots. That's why. It's a timey-wimey thing, I know, right? Yeah. But the thing is, we did see, for some reason, we saw a picture. I guess the doctor, the whole season is going to try to figure out how the fuck to get to May 24th, right?
Yeah, 24th. Not 4th, my man.
Why can't he just go to May 23rd and wait a day?
Exactly.
No, well, again, he don't know that, but he goes to Ruby. He goes to Ruby after the church on Ruby Road, but before she gets in the TARDIS and before she meets Miss Flood. So in other words, right outside her house, before she, like he jumps into her and he gives her a device, and I guess he tells her, "Don't tell me I gave this to you, and just keep going where you're going or whatever, and try not to, just no matter what, don't ever say you got this from me and whatever." Because we saw her dressed in that attire from the church on Ruby Road, and him holding a device, and him being in the street with that outfit that he never was. So he's going to put a tracking device on Ruby that's going to lead him to her on that date when it goes down. And he's going to be able to directly land the TARDIS, just like I guess he's copying off of, because the TARDIS could not go to Earth because of Journey's End Stolen Earth when the Earth was abducted. So Russell is, first of all, Russell is copying off of himself. Let's just flat out say it, because
the Earth is missing again.
That happened already. Earth was
Yeah.
abducted, but in this case, Earth was destroyed. So he's copying himself, but at a rapid rate, which kind of gets me concerned.
Do you think Disney looked at his first few series and said, "We want you to remake this for a new generation and just do the same stories"?
No, because they just.
Well, because even Rogue was just the girl in the fireplace, but the gay version.
Yeah, but Rogue was not him writing it. It was the Loki writer that wanted.
But do you think, like, the general, like, say they had a writers' meeting and they said, "We kind of just want to do remakes for a new generation"?
Because the whole. Okay, so basically the whole entire thing is controlled by Russell and his team. And Disney's like, all right, if you're gonna put it on our streaming service, and we're gonna be a streaming service, we want it to be on the caliber of our show, so we're gonna give you tons of money. But the deal is they don't have say at all. Now they may have said a couple of things that they wanted, and maybe he implemented it, but ultimately the deal is they give him money, and they can't. In other words, it was always a thing. The British did not want Americans to have influence over the show at all. Ever since the Eighth Doctor, Moffat and Russell T.V. Davis had ripped that apart and saying how it was bullshit. They didn't get to choose. They were mad. So as long as they get the money from Disney without Disney having say, that's the deal. So Disney can cancel membership with them, but they can't cancel the show. So in other words, the show would be off Disney, but then BBC would have to put it back on BBC. The show won't get canceled. It would just get taken off of Disney Plus. But Disney Plus can't have influence over the story or anything. Russell T. Davis has to be in charge of that. Now,
do you think, Joe, I'm sorry, I know you've talked about this ad nauseum. Well, is there a chance? Because I know you've said, obviously, there's plans for season 3, right? But I saw last week.
Right.
I saw last week the guy used to. You probably saw it too. He was the old editor for Doctor Who magazine, and he basically predicted this episode beat for beat. And he said, in the end of the season, Shooty does regenerate in the reshoots. They filmed it in February. Do you think that's true?
No, because here's the thing. You're not. I don't think you saw the interview. What time is it? Okay, I don't think you saw the interview that happened yesterday.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so this is what's got the Whovian community confused as fuck. Because on one hand, we don't know what the question was posed to Russell, where he talked about a hiatus. So we don't know if they were asking him. Right? Okay. Russell came out yesterday and said that what he's got lined up for season 5 is going to blow your fucking mind, right? And people are like, wait, what? And it's like, he said, oh yeah, season 3, yeah, I already got everything planned out for season 3. I'm working stuff out of season 4 and season 5, but I got this real shit going on in season 5 that, oh my God, I just can't wait for you to see it, right? So, how the fuck, right? This is why the people that want it canceled are in a fucking meltdown. Because this paradox is their whole thing that Doctor Who is completely done 100%. Because why the fuck is this motherfucker talking about season 5, which is technically years away, if the show is that much in trouble? Okay?
Well, is he just trying to hype it up?
No. He's really not. That's the point. He's really fucking not. Because when he gets excited about shit, right? Shit happens years later. He's like a child, like I am, like getting a toy at Christmas, even though I'm 51. He gets all excited like a fucking kid, and he's like, oh, you don't even know what's going on, right? He gets crazy, right? No, it's real. Like, he does in his brain. So this is why I'm telling you, and I've been telling everybody, just calm the fuck down. Just relax, because again, people said the other day, wait a minute, did Disney Plus get the fucking catalog? The back catalog of Doctor Who? Now, haven't I been saying that on here, that they're trying to get the back catalog? Why would they get the back catalog of Doctor Who if they were going to cancel their relationship with Doctor Who?
On top of having spin-offs.
Did you see? There's a guy called the Tachyon Pulse podcast. Have you ever watched his videos? He said Disney are trying to buy Doctor Who straight up.
First of all, did you see that me and him went to war a couple of years ago? Oh yeah,
no.
On my channel and the comment section, and he was on my comment section.
Oh,
and
shit.
I told him to fuck off. Right?
Oh my god!
I ripped him to shreds because I said the guy was saying episodes were written by Russell and they were written by Moffat. I'm like, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, right? Because I got really insulted. He didn't even know a Moffat episode from a Russell episode. He didn't know the guy made everything up. Okay, so originally he created a YouTube channel that was so similar in name that people thought it was a Star Trek channel. He called it Sci Trek. So naturally, people are going to subscribe, clickbait trick in to get subscribers. They got thousands of subscribers, right? He's a Stargate guy. He's a Star Trek guy. He decides he wants to venture into Doctor Who. He has no idea what fucking a police box from a fucking sonic screwdriver from a regeneration from anything. He don't know.
So they're not buying
anything. Right. So he lied through his teeth. We went to war, and I said, I'm going to fucking remind you every fucking year. Because he said that Russell was fired in 2023, and that when 2024 happened, we'd have a new showrunner and everything. Complete lie. I called him out on it. I'm not the only one that called him out on it. Other YouTubers did. He got so embarrassed and he was so wrong. He got rid of the J Talks channel. He tried a second channel, what technically would be a third channel, but keep his original channel. He didn't want to infect his original channel because he didn't want that to be canceled because he needs to make money from somehow. He created a third channel. That got fucked. He got proven wrong there. He canceled that. So now this is his fourth channel, which he technically has two channels. He's starting this shit again, but he's basically bouncing off of what I said, but twisting it, where I said that Disney is trying to buy the back catalog. BBC doesn't want to sell Doctor Who because BBC needs money forever, and Doctor Who is an instant, constant money-making thing. Just like Sony will never sell Spider-Man back to Marvel, okay? From the movie rights.
Now Sony or Paramount, Sony or Universal could get the other.
So the only thing that Disney can do is Disney could buy the back catalog, right? So not only are they going to buy the back catalog, there's going to be some deals in place that if they have merchandise, that they will have a percentage of the merchandise. They'll stop. The plan was for the back catalog to be bought, for there to be Doctor Who merchandise everywhere in fucking the Disney parks, okay, and so on and so forth, and spin-offs and everything, right? Now, they can't buy it, but they can buy the back catalog, and the BBC will allow them at some point, if the relationship is still together, to do a Doctor Who motion picture, okay, where they would make a lot of money from. So that's the thing. So he took whatever I said on my podcast, tried to make it his own, and make up, bless you, and make up shit. But he's so full of shit because every single year he keeps twisting it that Russell is gone, Russell is gone, Russell is gone, Russell is gone, right? And again, he even said, Bad Wolf's going to fire him. Well,
Bad Wolf's his company.
Okay,
Exactly.
so Bad Wolf, okay?
So he's going to fire himself?
Okay, so technically, he made his friends open up a company called Bad Wolf where he doesn't own it, but they own it. He gave them all this work to build up their fortune to be a huge motherfucking company, and he will never fucking ever get fired ever. Okay? He also bailed the BBC out so many fucking times that he is considered so high up there that they will never, ever,
Hey, Daniel.
ever
Hi, Daniel.
get rid of him because he is a company man and he will save the BBC, right? So this guy is fucking stupid. Got it wrong, doesn't fucking get it.
So basically,
Okay?
yeah. So basically,
I could never have watched this video. I've just sent you on a 17-minute rant.
Okay, but here's the thing also. You don't understand how powerful Russell is and how powerful he has become because of Russell T. Davis. David Tennant, with his connections, got Disney Plus shows. Moffat is going to have Disney Plus shows. Gatiss is going to have Disney Plus shows. People in Doctor Who are going to have Disney Plus shows. Chibnall is going to have Disney Plus shows. Moffat is going to have other stuff. They have a connection with the movie industry. Russell is going to do other stuff. He is going to be appointed a high figure in Disney besides Doctor Who, where he's going to be given the keys to the kingdom to either Star Wars or some aspect of the MCU besides Doctor Who. And it's going to be where he's going to make them so much money at some point in time. He is never going to be let go. And right now, you have to look at the overall picture that he is making Disney Plus money besides Doctor Who and through the BBC with Bluey and all that stuff. If Disney pissed off the BBC, they will take Bluey that makes Disney Plus millions a day. Bluey makes Disney Plus millions a day. As a retaliation, Disney Plus will get fucked, and the BBC will take Bluey off. But there's other stuff besides Bluey. They'll take it off and they'll put it on Netflix, and then Disney Plus won't have a regular income. That's the whole point. Is that Russell T. Davis is so powerful. He knows he's powerful. He knows he's important, but he's not letting on to it. Now, Disney is going through a crisis where they're trying to pick their battles. They're battling the Star Wars fans. They're battling the MCU fans. They're battling losing billions of dollars. They don't want to deal with the Whovians. So they're doing a political maneuver of they know it's approved. They know it's going to happen, but they're creating a thing where we're going to wait. So now until a certain time, because again, they're going to wait until Fantastic Four. They're going to wait till all this shit, and then they're going to announce Doctor Who season 3 is happening quietly.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's going to be like, okay, now here's the thing. This is where I differ from my enemies. And it goes directly to Noel. He wrote the scripts already. He handed in the scripts already. They paid for just about everything they can, with the exception of the permits, because now they can't film everything. The only thing they could film for season 3 is stuff behind closed doors on set that you cannot see. So while he said stuff is being filmed, right, you can't see. Now, the only thing that they can say is that it's a regeneration. But they can't tell you it isn't a regeneration, because the thing is, let's say hypothetically speaking, Ruby Sunday dies. Okay? Regardless of everything going on, the fans are gonna flip the fuck out. And the fans are gonna be so fucking angry because they cannot go through what we went through with Earthshock. If you're gonna get that upset about a cat dying, okay, just imagine Ruby Sunday dying. The fans are going to be a never-ending tirade. That's going to be such a hatred and rage towards Disney and BBC that it's going to make the acolyte look like a sunny day. Russell does not want to deal with that. Moffat, nobody. So the only solution would be she dies and he finds a way to save her by going back and filming in the exact fucking point where they were, because it could be some bullshit that takes place that he did something where maybe she's resurrected, maybe he gave her a device that repumps her heart or whatever, but you think it's a regeneration, but again, it's not, because, and the reason why it's not a regeneration is because the finale leads to the spinoff, and they can't change the spinoff. The spinoff is done. They can't change the spinoff at all. Okay? So that is why it's 100% not the regeneration, because if he regenerates and then let's just say he's supposed to appear in the spinoff wouldn't make fucking sense. So, and I'm not saying he appears at the end of the spinoff. It's either he appears at the end of the spinoff or the 14th Doctor appears, and then it was supposed to be the Christmas special bounces him back into reality of why he loves the Earth and Unit. It was supposed to be something to do with the gods, with a realm, like the Toymaker's realm, like Alice in Wonderland. Something happens and he's reinvigorated, just like the snowman reinvigorated him with Clara dying. And oh my God, I need to save the Earth and I need to stop being retired. So like that's the whole point, is that it definitely is not a regeneration because the spinoff is there. But you can't tell that to these crazy Whovians because they want it to be canceled.
Because, like I've said in the past, they can be wrong 1,000,000 times. But the one time they happen to be right, that's going to be the only thing people focus on. And they're going to forget about the fact they were wrong those 1,000,000+ other times.
Do you remember when everybody thought, when Doctor Who came back, that Rose Tyler got obliterated and blasted? And even the Doctor was like done. And Captain Jack was done, and they were prisoner, and he was just fucking done. Do you know every fucking fan was like infuriated, thinking they didn't know it was a trans mat, and they thought she was fucking dead? Like season 1, the fans will go into a motherfucking meltdown. Okay, they can never do an Earthshock death ever again. And again, I'm telling you right now, if I got people that are so enraged of hatred that they want me to stop Doctor Who, where someone threatens me, you either stop talking about Doctor Who or I'm going to put your address out there.
Oh, speaking about deaths, real quick, we heard today that Jean Marsh passed away.
Yes, rest in peace. She was amazing.
Because I was thinking, she one time, even though they didn't appear together, they weren't in the same show together. One time, she and John Pertwee were married together at one time.
And she was in Battlefield, weren't she?
Battlefield was one of my favorites, and the kids loved it.
And she was Sarah Kingdom, one of the 3 first companions to pass away too.
Unbelievable actress, unbelievable. Again, my kids loved her in Battlefield, loved her. So. What I'm saying, like, rest in peace, 100%. But The fans will not.
No, they can't. No.
If we have evil fans that are trying to destroy me to the length of a TV show, just imagine how they're going to be. And again, people love Ruby Sunday. They love her. They were even. Do you understand how people went against Russell and the whole goddamn show because they thought he fired her? Like, they went in a fucking meltdown. That he got so scared that he's like, oh, please, could you come back? Could you do press tours? Could whatever, right? He fucked up. He did. Okay, he did. He didn't give her a chance. He got into. Sometimes he makes mistakes where he gets that ego and he fucking does things and he doesn't give a fuck and he'll tell people I don't give a fuck about Davros being walking around. Fuck you. He doesn't. He gets into these moods and you know that. But this time he fucked up. And if I'm telling you, she dies, they're gonna go right back to that's why you fired her, you prick. And he's not going to be able to handle it. He won't. He will not. He does not want to be interviewed about it. So that is what they're going to be reshooting. Is they're going to undo the death. I'm sure that a lot of money, okay, was thrown her way to appear in season 3. But again, from what I was told by sources, not one source, season 3 was going to be different than 1 and 2 because it was going to be a shock value of, oh shit, there's the fucking Daleks. Oh shit, there's the Cybermen. Oh shit. And you were going to be like, holy shit, Doctor Who is back, fucking fighting Davros. And again, it isn't the Daleks. It's Davros and the Daleks because Shooty was in a play with the actor that played Davros, and Russell was there, and Russell definitely, besides the children in need, had told him, "Could you appear as Davros again?"
I want them to bring back Colony Sarf because he was one of my favorites.
But also, I know, but I want you to think also too that Russell is a liar.
Yeah.
So fully expect the timeline to be restored where Davros is back in the life apparatus chair.
Yeah, I'm not doubting that one bit.
Okay. And all this shit about that is kind of semi-true bullshit because at the end of the day, he's going to restore him 100%. It probably has to do with Mavity that didn't affect anything in the timeline till it gets to the 51st century. And because the future affects the past and the past affects the future, he has to restore the timeline to where he's in that apparatus, or else his personal history will be changed. And the Doctor's personal history can't be changed, but supposedly the toy maker did cause damage that maybe has to be fixed. So.
We've actually seen another god from the toy makers realm this season, ain't we?
Yes, we're going to see the god. We're going to see the African god. We're going to see Harbinger, I think, and I think of Mr. Blood as a god.
Do you think this Earth thing is the Harbinger?
What's that?
Do you think this Earth damage that we've seen now, that way can't get back to Earth on the present day due to Harbinger?
I think Harbinger's connected to episode 2. All right, guys. Is Hayden still here?
No, he just disappeared. I don't know why he's coming back.
I want you guys to talk about the episode. I just need a couple of minutes. I have to run to the bathroom and just give me a couple minutes. Grab a drink. But just talk about, because I know I take over the podcast and I do apologize for me yapping.
Mm-hmm.
So, Scott, you're in charge. Make everybody talk about Doctor Who at a different, each time allotted. I'll be back in as soon as I can. 10 minutes tops. No.
Well,
I also need a drink. I need a drink.
I know.
I also have to step away, but it'll be more brief. I gotta pee real quick. I'll be right back.
Then there was two.
Okay, Ray.
Wait a minute. I have to ask. I'm sorry. Does everybody want to take a pee break?
I'm good.
I'm going to go
Right.
and quickly do one just in case.
I'm good.
Then Scott's gonna have to talk. All right. You sure, Scott? Because you can go too.
No, I can just. I'm
good. I'm
All right.
good.
So Scott, you just talk about what you thought about the episode, and I'll just be right back.
All right, folks and fans. I guess since I'm the lone guy right now, like I said, I thought it was quite good. I did. Pardon me. Hang on. I feel a burp coming up. I did feel it was quite good, and the whole dialogue, they could have improved it a bit. I admit. I do give it, I will be kind here. I will give it at least a 6 because of the whole temporal distortion stuff that was going on. And the whole notion of it was the guy who tried to control her in the beginning and gave her the little star chart. I thought that was unique. And the whole notion of the doctor being in love with the one gal, I'm with Joe on that. Was she were they dating? Were there plans on dating? Let's see. And the whole funny bit of them finding some smooge on the floor, and the polisher swept that up. I laughed my ass off. I laughed my ass off on that one. I just shook my head as if they're not going to go there. Please, and they went there. And apparently so did Al. Yeah. Let's see. What else? The whole teleporting thing, I thought that was kind of unique on how they're going to try to escape. And the fact the little cleaning machine did manage to go. I had a feeling the cleaning machine was going to get tied up in the teleportation thing, but I'm starting to wonder if what was her name? I'm brain farting on her name. I hate it when that happens.
55.
Robot Revolution. I'm brain fart. I hate when that happens.
Oh, I hear you.
I can see her. Okay, there we go. Okay. Robot Revolution. What was her name? What was her name? But anyway,
I'm back.
hello. Let's see. Belinda, there we go. I totally I could see her as clear as day, and just for whatever reason, Belinda wouldn't come to me. I'm starting to wonder if Belinda may be the reason why they're in the trouble they're in, and because it hasn't happened yet, she doesn't remember. Because remember, she was the one that activated the cleaning robot. So I wonder if she either gets manipulated in causing what happened in the future, or she's the one who personally does it and doesn't realize the ramifications of what she does. But like I said, I give it at least a 6 because the whole temporal distortion thing. So whoever's next is Welcome to It.
Well, I pretty much gave all of my diatribe on it.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm still sitting at a firm 5.
No. I don't know. They're just the dialogue was just like what it was like. You'd expect more from a kindergarten or a nursery child. It was like there was a bits that I could understand the timey wimey. I loved that reference.
Mm-hmm.
But there's bits in it when you looked at it like when she goes like when it like he was in such a rush to show her, oh, I've got 2 hearts. Look.
That yeah, that's another thing I really loved is the X-ray blanket. I thought that was real unique how they revealed that.
But you know how good was in a rush to just say to her, oh look, I've got 2 hearts. Like it was just like it was like normally there was like a normal like few episodes before you get to that point.
Yeah.
It's like it was short on time and he was just like, oh look, by the way, I've got 2 hearts, look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Martha when because she was like the same profession technically as Belinda, she found out the hard way that the doctor had 2 hearts.
Yeah.
With Belinda, it's like he gave her the answer straight away. Oh, by the way, look. Oh, yeah, I'm not from here, but look, I've got 2 hearts. What's so special about Belinda that you've got to be in such a rush to explain to her that you've got 2 hearts? When you could have been hiding it from everyone else for like ages. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
All right. What I missed?
Hello.
Well, I just finishing off that Joe about like we were just like Scott said about X-ray blankets. We love them, but why was he in such a rush with her to explain that he's got 2 hearts when with nearly every other companion he waited a few episodes in?
Because she's a nurse.
Yeah.
And she would respect that. No, well, he did that with like when she did the stethoscope, Martha Jones.
Yeah.
He's like, check my heart, and then she knew.
But like I also said, I thought that I forgot to mention the whole thing about the X-ray blankets, which I thought was very cool on how they had that set up.
I gotta say, and I as much as I'm positive towards Doctor Who, and people don't understand why, I do see the problems with it. And Phil was talking to me about it. I fully understand. Like, I don't want any message put in there.
Yeah.
I don't want, and again, the pronoun thing.
Oh, God.
Listen, here's the thing. That's over as far as stuff going on in America due to the president. That's just going out the window. And if anybody does engage in that, that's going to be illegal. So, there's not going to be that bullshit going on. And again, people more worried about that than actually knowing how to land planes and all that other shit. That's another issue. But like that, we can't all be softies. And again, the whole point too. Again, there's a lot of stuff going wrong in the world. Everybody gets a trophy. No, if you lose in a match, you don't get a trophy because that makes you want to win. If you're getting rewarded from just participating, that's bullshit too. So a lot of stuff's going wrong in the world. But again, I'm not a part of any message. I don't want people thinking negatively against gamers. I don't want people thinking negatively against white people. His political views are different from my political views, but I just want to enjoy Doctor Who. I don't want him to get political. And again, it's one thing to enjoy. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, one thing to keep in mind, I mean, it's always been there to a degree. I don't think the issue is that it can't be there at all. I think the issue is that at least back in the day, the writers respected the medium, and the first priority was the quality of the story. Sure, there was the messaging in there, but it wasn't rammed down your goddamn throat. It's that the delivery is shit.
And it's still
we need to get back to caring about Doctor Who first.
But see, the problem is that there is nobody that has the ability or the power to tell Russell no. Okay? And this is why I said when Russell and Moffat worked together, it was great, right? When Moffat went on his own as showrunner, he adopted the same philosophy. Nobody could tell me anything, right? In fact, even his own friends were like, I want to do this. No, I want to do this. No. And then he got into big fights, and it's like, all right, you can do the Ice Warriors, Mark. It's like, but like, he was definitely, when they're in charge, it's their way or the highway. And no one could tell, and this is the sad part. The sad part is nobody could constructive criticize them because they have to be right, even if they're not right. And it takes years, but Russell finds out I was wrong here. And then he tries to go overboard to make up shit to make it up to the person, right? Like, he's like, oh, I could have had ABBA in fucking an episode. I fucked up and all that. And then, I was nasty to Richard E. Grant, and now I feel bad about it. So I'm gonna throw his face in there. You know, not that he's a doctor, but the great intelligence was fucking around so much that fucking the news media of the fucking Galaxy 7 might think that he's a doctor and he's really the great intelligence. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just showing up.
Yeah.
So, like, him just and throwing Joe Martin in there, like, again, that's because Chibnall, and you want to go against Chibnall, but it's I have to believe and I have hope that Russell is, and I know he's watching everyone. I know he's watching everybody's podcast, and I know that in his subconscious, he does make changes, and he does like, okay, yeah, I see what everybody's saying in this point. Maybe you're right about Ruby. Maybe you're right about this, but I don't agree with this. And that's fine. But there was a difference when he said, as a fan, what he wanted Bioregeneration to be, but it may be completely different than what, as the showrunner, he would make Bioregeneration be. Because as a fan, it's like the schoolyard. Wouldn't it be cool if every doctor split? And no, because that would be a pain in the ass, fucking up the timeline so much that you just can't explain it. So no, things have to make sense at some point. And as much as you do fantasy, you are turning the fans away when you're doing a magic wand every time. And again, this is why I said there has to be an Earthshock death, but they're not going to keep it. They're not. If Ruby Sunday dies and it goes on into the spinoff, into Christmas, they're not going to keep it. They're not. 100%, he will not be able to keep it. So that's why there is stuff that is shot, and it's technically not season 2, and it's technically not the spinoff. So it would either be considered part of Christmas or be basically season 3, because it's not. And yes, they may have been told they had to stop filming because they didn't want to get caught, Disney Plus, with stuff, right? Because they just can't handle battling fans at the same time as they're battling fans on two fronts. They're battling fans on the Star Wars front, they're battling fans on the MCU front, and they can't handle a third front. They can't handle battling Whovians. So they go in the diplomatic way of trying to make you believe, oh, maybe Doctor Who is in trouble. Maybe it isn't. Maybe you're right, because we're not stopping you from fucking talking about it. We're not flagging you for using Doctor Who footage saying it's getting canceled. Why is that? Like, in the past, anytime they wanted to stop people talking about Doctor Who, they would flag the shit out of every YouTube video you have, right? Now, people have free reign. Why is that? Because they are allowing it. They are allowing the negative publicity because they want you to believe it's getting canceled, because you're happy and you're quiet about it, and you're making videos, but you're not giving them shit. because they're like, oh, the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall. It's going to be canceled. It's gonna be canceled.
Basically, any publicity or talk about Doctor Who is good.
But by them being silent, they're making people.
Hold on, Joe, you have to ask yourself the obvious question that we've been ignoring this entire evening. Would it be Doctor Who if somebody wasn't saying that it's being canceled?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Exactly. Bingo.
But Russell, you may not believe this or not, and you may not want to believe this, but, and again, it goes back to what Sharon tells me, any publicity is good publicity, even if it's negative publicity. You know, because she was telling me that with the books and stuff, and I was getting pissed because people were legally sharing.
They're paying attention to what's out there.
Russell wants you making Doctor Who trending, even if it's negative, because when the announcement comes that season 3 is happening, the amount of podcasts and videos will be quadrupled, because now all these podcasters and streamers are going to have to convince their audience how they got it so wrong.
And backtrack, won't they?
Yep.
They're going to have to spend... They can't explain it in one podcast. They're going to have to explain it. They're going to have to look for a scapegoat. They're going to have to look at something, how they arrived to this conclusion when it was always going to be approved for season 3. So this is why that it's going to cause a trending effect, because everybody is going to respond to the season 3 announcement. But if it's canceled, then how could it trend if it's canceled? If Doctor Who officially ends, all the podcasts end. Because if the show is canceled, nobody will watch them talking about Doctor Who, because it's pointless. So they are all canceled. Every single fucking YouTuber that will only talk about Doctor Who, the moment it would be canceled, their ratings will go in the toilet, because nobody will tune in, because the threat is realized. So what are you going to do? How could you talk about Doctor Who now that's off the air? You can't. So that's why, this is why I don't understand the way they act. This is why, remember when I said, Scott, we need to do the everything show. We need to do this. We need to do that other than Doctor Who, because we need to have a backup plan on top of a backup plan on top of a backup plan, because we can't be just known as Doctor Who, or we individually got to do different things, because if Doctor Who ends, we end.
Don't have anything. Yep.
Right. And we could go tomorrow, and Chris could be on the everything show, and he could be like, Godzilla, this is being filmed, and this movie's being, and we always did. We have over 2,000 episodes of the everything show. The everything show passed the real Whovians.
Excuse me. Excuse me, guys. I've got to cut out because I have to work. So I've got to get myself ready for bed.
I understand.
But I just wanted to say thanks for having me on. It has been a lot of fun.
It's been a pleasure, Bill.
I hope to see you guys next week.
Yes. We'll do next week.
Well, thank you. See you next week.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate it. And thank you, Hayden. I know Hayden probably has to go to work too. All right. Well, you guys know what?
Yeah, you guys have a great night.
We will.
Fine, Bill. I know Scott's got to probably go to work too.
No, I'm off tomorrow.
Oh, you're off tomorrow. Well,
yeah.
I don't have to work, so that's good.
Say that again, Joe.
I don't have to work. Yeah, I'm not. I'm a gamer.
I went in Saturday thinking I had to work.
Oh,
I didn't, but the one gal that was going to be there was going to be left by herself. So
I didn't mean to. Okay, so Scott, I'll answer you one thing. I never continuously asked you. I continually asked you because I thought that you were blocked from Facebook and you weren't seeing my messages. So
no.
I'm like,
I was working. That's why I wasn't able to respond.
Yeah.
So I forget if I was just about to go in or I was at my 30 when I responded. But
I asked you, but you didn't answer me if you were working or not. 'Cause I had no idea. Yeah, but yeah. So as far as the real Whovians go, I'm gonna do my best. Me and Scott talked about this. I'm gonna do my best. Like I said, we're gonna, to cover the season. The season. Okay. The amount of trolling, the amount of hatred gets to you sometimes. It gets to me, and I just don't want to podcast. Hopefully, I don't feel that way next week. And God willing to, because again, my health is a factor, unfortunately, where it wasn't before, it is now. It's, and I don't want to go into details about it. I don't want it to be a woe with me bullshit either, but there's things going on in my life, and my health is a lot different and changed than it was. And while I'm trying to be 100%, I'm not 100%. And I'm constantly going for doctors and stuff like that. And while I'm not telling you what it is, I don't know how long I could do the podcast constantly. So we'll see. I mean, or videos or whatever. I'm just going to do my best, see what happens, try to get well, try to get healthy, try to repair what may not be able to be repaired. I don't know. It's not just one thing. There's a lot of things. You get older, things go wrong, you get bad news. I didn't take the news too well. I'm trying to figure it out still. And some days I have bad days, and some days I have positive. So I'm glad that my body allowed me to do this podcast for this length of time. I thought for a minute I might not be able to when I had to go for a couple of seconds because I was feeling dizzy and everything. But I'm glad I'm okay now. It is what it is. We'll see. But I thank you everybody for tuning in, and going to try to motivate people still as much as possible and everything. And I don't want people to anything is possible. And I'm not trying to. I don't want people to formulate an opinion about me. I really don't want to talk about my health. But I didn't get good news, and I just, it's not fair, but it could be. I mean, we'll see what happens. But anyway, we're gonna do a Real Whovians cast hopefully next time, and hopefully we could still do it this length of time. It won't be short or whatever. But I do love doing podcasts with you guys. I love doing podcasts with Scott and Ray and all the other Real Whovians. And again, I do love doing podcasts with you guys.
We love you too, man. You know we're always here for you.
We've got your back, so
yeah.
I didn't think that. It's nothing to do with trolling. It's not. It's to do with. It has nothing to do with trolling. It has nothing to do with.
It's real life, isn't it? And then more
it's just. I love talking about doctors. I love talking about podcasts with you. I love talking about stuff besides Doctor Who. I love doing my videos. I love doing stuff my way. Gaming and I have goals with gaming. I have goals with books, and I want to continue. We'll see. All right. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye for now.
Ciao.
Bye everyone.